Welcome to art. Today we're talking about making collage. I'm showing this way to make collage that's called like cutting it and rearranging it. And it's in this idea, I was inspired to come, to introduce this idea to you by some of Ellsworth Kelly's work. And I'll show some of that work to you. We looked yesterday at some of his photographs, and today we're going to look at some of the collage work. So I'm going to share the screen and show two different collages. This one is, oh, wait a minute. What's happening with my share? Share the screen. This one is the, actually was first a painting. You can see how there was brush strokes, and they must have made some kind of a shape and lines, and then when the brush stroke, when all the paint dried probably, it was cut into a lot of squares, and then the squares were rearranged to make this totally different way of looking at the original artwork. And show another one. This one here, again, there's been some collage work. There's these dark or black strips, and they have been somehow put together in some kind of organization, and then afterward the piece of paper was cut into long strips and then reorganized in a different way. So you get this kind of different look, a different movement, and a different way of looking at your art from what it looked like before. So when I think about this, I think about how it kind of helps us look at something in a new way. We might be working on something and not be so crazy about it, and then be able to cut it and make a change and do it completely differently. And sometimes I think that when we do that in artwork, it also helps us practice doing that with other things, right? With other projects or with different things that are going on in our lives. If we have the opportunity to start something and then rearrange it, maybe we can look at things differently. So here I'm going to show a processed video of me making this piece, just so you can get an idea. Basically, what I did was I took two pieces of paper. One piece was green and one piece was navy blue. And I cut the navy blue piece of paper up into strips, and then I glued them on. And then after they were glued down, I cut the whole paper into squares. And then I glued all of those squares onto a white piece of paper in a different order than they were before. I will show that now. So it's a sped up version, obviously, just so you get the idea of the process. I made long strips. I also realized that glue stick would be easier for what I was doing. And I did the process pretty quickly. I didn't, not as quickly as it looks here, but I didn't think about it too hard when I organized the strips. To me, they look like grass when I finished. And then I cut it into squares. And I didn't leave it totally to chance. I looked at it and kind of rearranged it how I thought would look, a way that I liked it. And my squares were not fitting together perfectly because I didn't measure them perfectly, but then in the end I cut the edges. So basically that's the project. And I hope you can try it out. You can try it with different kinds of shapes, or maybe if you want to do it with the paint version, that's a great idea too. And I hope to see what your projects look like. And I'm excited to hear about how the process goes for you. Happy art making.